Sephiroth is voiced by Superman. As long as Superman is voicing Sephiroth, I'm alright. The Wolfpack is together again. The fanbase has been taken over by these types of phrases, but we have to ask, when has it ever been a requirement that Superman needs to be voicing Sephiroth? And why are we getting the Wolfpack together again? Tyler Hoechlin plays Superman on the CW Supergirl, and is being heavily promoted as Superman is still voicing Sephiroth. But why is that suddenly a qualification to voice Sephiroth? And when George Newbern, the voice of Sephiroth and Justice League Superman, was first hired for Advent Children, the Final Fantasy fanbase did not chant Sephiroth is voiced by Superman. This is an injection of corporate marketing into Final Fantasy VII Remake on social media, and more importantly, the fanbase. They are priming the fans with the gradual acceptance that as long as Sephiroth is being voiced by Superman, it's alright. Since Superman was already voicing Sephiroth to begin with, why did they need to change? Well, it just can't be any Superman. It has to be the CW Superman. The CW is a joint company between CBS and Warner Brothers, and is a network that specifically targets a younger audience, and is responsible for shows like All American and Supergirl, shows which Cody Christian and Tyler Hoechlin both come from and are being promoted heavily in. The CW has a huge problem with their current shows. They are losing viewers, and fast. We can see this from articles that say the ratings for Supergirl and Batwoman have not been high, and the latest numbers on their most recent episodes indicate they are still plummeting hard. Supergirl has only reeled in a meager 667,000 viewers. While this is an improvement, still has not reached over 1 million, and they are losing fans at an alarming rate. That said, Supergirl is suffering from the lowest rated season to date. They are losing viewers rapidly, and they desperately need to find a fanbase quickly to secure its viewers and their shows, since its past viewership has dwindled. If a show doesn't have viewers, it will not survive and be cancelled by the network. With the new Superman show in the works starring Hoechlin, the CW needs to quickly secure those viewers to support the show. And with the overall support of Sephiroth being voiced by Superman's voice actor George Newbern, the corporate wheels were turning and a marketing slogan was born. Superman is still voicing Sephiroth. Now on the other hand, All American, the show Cody Christian is credited for, has procured positive viewership, more so than the declining number of Supergirl. But the show still has not surpassed 1 million viewers. Thanks to the CW's deal with Netflix, it looks like All American is beginning to recover its poor ratings. In the article, All American, one of broadcast's least watched shows, is now number 1 on Netflix. The article actually goes into depth with the positive turnover rate Netflix has provided for All American. This is what CW Network President Mark Pedowitz has called the Netflix bump. The network then tries to entice those new Netflix fans back to the CW to watch or stream the next season's episodes. This is the second time that All American has benefited from the Netflix bump, since it also helped the low-rated series secure Season 2 for renewal last year. So we can see that All American is actually recovering because they have garnered more attention from Netflix, a new audience. So they need to do the same thing with Supergirl to revive the low ratings. Last fall, Adweek also published an article in which Pedowitz goes off to say, without the Netflix bump to count on, the biggest challenge we all have is to get the Netflix viewer, who may not pay attention to us, to come and look at our shows. We're gonna have to be very smart about this. That means a mix of paid media and PR to get this message out. We have all these shows, come and check us out. So how do they get the attention of a mass audience in such a short amount of time? Well, they need to slide into 2 large fan bases, Final Fantasy and Teen Wolf. The video game industry is worth a staggering $120 billion. There are more than 1.2 billion gamers in the world. That's a large audience that is perfect to promote the CW shows to. Not only that, most consoles provide gamers with streaming apps, an easy way to access those shows on the same device they are playing games. Getting their foot in the door with Final Fantasy VII Remake will not only market to the Final Fantasy games, but also attempt to market to the entire video game industry. Final Fantasy VII alone has sold 11 million units worldwide since its release, and with the fanbase joining together again for its highly anticipated release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's a perfect time to hop in on the marketing, even if it means firing the entire cast that was already on the project.
You're the Cloud.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
my
anymore.
favorite,
I got fired, but it was cool.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's been great. It was a good run. 20 years almost. It was good.
Jeez.
But
Yeah.
that's
You know the new game's coming out.
Thanks for reminding me. That's why they fired us. They fired all of us. They fired everybody.
Really?
They were
Yeah, they
looking
fired
for,
the whole cast.
They were looking for the next young thing.
They did. They hired all younger people. Yeah.
Boy.
So.
Teen Wolf, another show that stars Cody Christian and Tyler Hoechlin, has garnished 6.2 million followers on Facebook from all over the world. But since it is a discontinued show, many of the Teen Wolf fanbase, no matter how supportive they are of the actors, grew stagnant and are inactive. Teen Wolf is a popular teen drama on Viacom's network MTV that ended its run in 2017, so what's better to reignite that fanbase and get them focused back on their actors? We can see how often Gideon Emery, the voice actor for Biggs, constantly tweets about the Wolfpack, bringing the attention of Teen Wolf fans to the game and also to Christian and Hoechlin. This injection of actors into the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the repetitive discourse of the Wolfpack is together again is to bring the Teen Wolf fans back to the actors in Final Fantasy VII Remake who are being heavily promoted in their respective CW shows. Remember what I said about Viacom owning Teen Wolf and MTV? Well, just recently, Viacom actually merged with mega television company CBS into one corporation, ViacomCBS. So now, Teen Wolf and MTV are actually under the ownership of CBS. And with the stake CBS has in the CW and its need to increase viewership of the network, what better way than to pull the Teen Wolf fanbase into the CW network? So let's quickly take a look at the cast list provided by Square Enix. Now you're not going to see these connections up front because they are subsidiaries of WarnerMedia. Cartoon Network is actually owned by Warner Brothers. As for VizMedia, Crunchyroll, owned by WarnerMedia, just bought VizMedia Europe. Not only that, they license a lot of products for VizMedia, so they want viewers to go look at their products so they can get more licensing. That brings more money to WarnerMedia. We can see a lot of Sony products here too. Since it is a timed exclusive, Sony wants to also market their games, such as Persona and even Call of Duty Ghost, because Activision is now partnered with Sony. Britt Baron is actually known for her Netflix shows, and we can see how close Netflix and the CW are because Netflix is streaming the CW shows. And she also offered her voice in The Young Justice, which is a Warner Brother production. But it's also worth noting that she was also in Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, which is a CBS production and is also a show that Brianna White was involved in. Gideon, John, Fred, and Aaron are not credited for their work in other Final Fantasy projects, but instead for their work in other CBS Warner Brother projects. Square Enix tried to find actors that could sound very similar to the old cast, but carried the requirements of CBS and Warner Brothers and the promotion of those networks. Something that is eye-catching is the lack of credits next to Hoechlin's name on the official release of the cast list, whereas the other actors had meticulous credits written out by their names. So why does Hoechlin not have any credits?
Let's talk about you taking on the role of Superman. This is an iconic character that's been around, for forever, it seems like. Yeah. And it must have been a little intimidating when you got the call, because I know you didn't even have to audition. They knew they wanted you, which is amazing.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
By looking at this video, it's shown that Hoechlin is actually called up and given roles. That's how he got Superman. So now you have to think, was he told that he needed to be in this video game so Superman can voice Sephiroth and secure the viewership for Supergirl? And this isn't a cast list to market to fans. It's a cast list that Square Enix needs to get approved by CBS and Warner Brothers. That would explain why he doesn't have any credits to the name. So with all this going on, Square Enix is certainly getting good benefits from this. They're getting high visibility from what is called stunt casting, which is when a celebrity or celebrities are placed in a TV show or a video game to garner more views. And with Teen Wolf and CW's fanbase looking at them, that's exactly what's happening. Sony is getting a nice share of the profits with the timed exclusive that was seemingly placed last minute on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Coincidence? I don't think so. So now Sony also has the eyes of the Teen Wolf and the CW fanbase where they can promote and market their PS4s, PS5s, and their exclusive games that we saw in the cast list. It's a mega marketing plan, and it is so much bigger than we thought. Also, since when did voice casts in video games get this much publicity? Oh, right.